Hey, welcome back to episode 2 of Limited Trust, the Devastator podcast. I appreciate everyone who jumped in and listened to episode 1, and I appreciate all the feedback, and I'm going to be trying to tighten things up and work on the levels and get some different equipment and stuff in, even though I got most of it already, but, got to sharpen the pencil a little bit. So if anyone's got an XLR microphone that they're not doing anything with, let me know and we'll work something out, because I want to get another one so we could eventually have some guests in here. So what I wanted to get into today was, I know if you're familiar with Devastator, I pushed the I don't consent to search and seizure, that whole illegal jargon aspect of things. And why I wanted to talk about that is I've had a lot of people comment about it, saying over the years now that everyone should already know that, everyone should, but a lot of people don't know that, all right? So that's why I try to remind everybody. And my first lawyer, my first lawyer, on the back of his card, he had something similar. It was a little more drawn out than what I put on the back of the cards. So, and I always thought that was pretty cool. And as I got older and understood why my lawyer had all these things on the card, even though before I got my lawyer, I ended the talk with the detectives before they could really get anything more out of me. That was where I was going to further incriminate myself. So I really pushed that hard. I'm not going to talk about how I got the felonies and everything today, because that's going to need a whole episode on its own. But what I will touch on is I was 16 years old and I got into some serious trouble, violent felonies, multiple. And when I finally turned myself in at a hospital, Rochester or Monroe County detectives picked me up, major crime unit guys, and I was young. I was young. I was from Otis Street, so I obviously knew, what was up to some extent, but I didn't know everything. And when I actually committed this crime, I remember, like, when I finally got out of the crime scene, all covered in blood, I thought, I'm going to get away with this, because, how could I not get away with this? And fucking, I was wrong. I was wrong. Anyway, so getting back to where I was at, when I finally turned myself in, the detectives met me there. They picked me up, and after I was released from the hospital, they arrested me. As soon as they came in, I signed the papers. Everyone signed the papers saying that I was okay to leave the hospital. They arrested me immediately and took me away from my mother, who was there. Well, there's a lot of people there actually, but they took me away from her, and that was like the first time I was. Now I'm on my own, and this is where the divide comes in, where this is going to be an unpopular opinion amongst probably most of our audience, but I am not like a big fuck the police person. Do I trust the police? No. Do I go out of my way to deal with them and such? No. But I'm a criminal. Well, not so much anymore. Yeah, I guess I'm a criminal still. But they got a job to do, and their job is to catch me, and my job is to not get caught. So I don't really have the whole fuck the police thing, because I know, it's for all the civilians, as I've heard people say before, the regular people, the grandmothers, the mothers, the elderly people, the people who just aren't in that lifestyle. They need someone to take care of them, because I fucking tell you what, man, all this talk of community policing, okay, yeah, let's see you guys community police. You know what I mean? Like, there are people who need those type of services, and I would not want to do that job. And yeah, it's definitely a volunteer thing. So I know they know what they're signing themselves up for. But so this is where the divide comes in. Is obviously I was 16 years old, and Officer fucking Gary Kayola, or detective, he was definitely the bad cop role, and the other guy, He was playing the good. I think his name was Gerber. He was the good cop role, and they wanted a confession out of me. You know, they were pushing me. They took me to get a sub, you know, all this stuff, like a drink, a sub, of fucking, and they wrote down everything. That's when I learned that they weren't playing. Like, they wrote down exactly like my sub order while I ordered it. I'm under arrest at a sub shop, standing there with two detectives, you know, ordering a sub, which is weird. But that's when I learned, like, they don't care. They don't care about you. They don't care about. They will tell you anything. So Gary Ko is pushing. They were breaking my balls because my bail was $25,000. So when he was on the phone with whoever told him what the bail was going to be set at, as they were waking the judge up out of bed, he said out loud, and I know he was fucking breaking my balls. He's like, "Oh, it's going to be $2,500," and I was thinking, all right, well, that's a little bit more manageable. And he goes, oh, I'm sorry, $25,000. And right then I was like, oh. And I know he did that on purpose. He was like, they were trying to fuck with me. And the amount of everything that they wrote down was very detailed. You know, it was like shorthand, but it was everything that I was talking about. And all I did was lie. I just lied. There's all this documented me lying about things. I'm just lying because I figured if I just lied enough about everything, that they wouldn't even know what to go with. They would just be like, well, what is true? What isn't true? Is any of this true? Is all of it true? So I'm kind of getting off track here. But anyway, my point is that I was 16. I was a good kid for the most part, you know, and they had no qualms about fucking sending me up the river without my people there, without my mom. You know, I was still under her care, my father, whoever, and they didn't care, man. They wanted that confession, and they would have used that. But at some point during the whole interview process, the guy he was like, all right, well, we're gonna type up your statement. And I was like, oh, all right, well, I guess we're gonna do this. And so I'm sitting there in a substation somewhere. I don't even know where I was. It was raining. And he pulls out both two index fingers, right? And he starts typing one letter at a time. And I said, dude, we're going to be here for a long time. And he's like, well, I said, if you want a statement from me, I said, let me type it. And he's like, I can't let you type it. And I said, I don't think I want to talk about this anymore. And that's where my paperwork ends. But they and all that stuff was documented, and I would have done that earlier had I known these things. I actually just kind of did that. I didn't even know that that's what I should do, because all the years of watching cops and watching all these different things on TV and just dealing with police in all different ways, like, I've been treated like total shit more than once. And I've learned that whole, you know, well, help us out with this and we'll help you out. Don't believe that, especially if you are doing some crime, man. If you're doing some fucking crime, don't say anything. Don't be an asshole either. What I learned too, don't talk all kinds of shit, because there is the chance a couple of the dudes, the big guys in Rochester, know that there's a chance that you could get fucking hemmed up red-handed and be good and get let go if you just act cool. You don't have to say anything. And what I've seen and what I've understood with talking to multiple people is, you know, they kind of respect the fact that you're going to keep your mouth shut. You're not going to say anything. And I promise you the outcome is going to be the same. Whether you sit down and you rat and you tell them everything, or whether you tell them nothing, the outcome will be the same for you. Oh, just let us know, you know, if there's a little drugs or something in the car. Let them find it. Don't say anything. Just let it happen, because it's going to happen. They are going to tear that car apart. It's going to happen. They will, and it doesn't matter. Like, as long as you stick to your guns and you don't say anything, same chance that you will have had whether you told them everything, but you just won't have that on your conscience that Well, I told them where the drugs were, and they would have never found it, but I'm still getting this felony possession charge. Like it does that. Believe me, by the time you get to court, and whether you take it to trial or not, it's going to be so long, so far removed from that initial traffic stop, from that initial encounter. It's not even going to matter. It's not going to. Oh, he was cooperative. Yeah, that doesn't matter. They don't. That doesn't translate well on their books of their quota for the entire county or for the city or for wherever you're booked. So, if you're not doing any crime, you shouldn't have anything to worry about, and you shouldn't have to not say anything. Just always stick to your guns, because they are. What's the wording I'm trying to think of here? They're actively taking down all these things that you're saying, and whether it be recorded or whether it be handwritten. And when they say this will be used against you, I learned firsthand that it will, and it's going to be. You and everyone else, they are documenting everything that everyone is saying. So I always try to push these things about, know your rights. You don't have to be a scholar, but know what you're talking about. Know that you don't have to do certain things, even though they make it seem like you're supposed to do certain things. Don't get fucked up, because you will be fucked up. Like by the time I pled guilty to my felonies, I was 17, and that was just like right out of the gate, I was off to a bad start. And the whole sealed your record thing, don't get fooled by that either. Take it if they'll offer it as a part of your deal to get, so you don't have to go sit and do 15 to 45 like they were offering me at first. But if you try to do anything military, anything like that, that shit's only sealed to a certain extent. You're definitely going to be, that's going to come up again, as it did with me. So don't say anything. And remember too, that if you plead guilty in any capacity to any crime, the following lawsuits, if you're going to have one against you, like a civil suit, because let's say you hurt someone, or you were drunk and you crashed someone's car, or whatever the fuck. As soon as you plead guilty to that, you're basically forfeiting any chance at fighting the civil trial, which is what I did. In a way, you're not technically, it's not on paper, but you are going to lose, because after my crime, I was sued by the person who was hurt the worst. And when I met with my second lawyer, the civil lawyer, he said, this is the best piece of $75 advice you're ever going to get. He said, just don't show up. I'm thinking, don't show up to court. Why? And he's like, because he said, you already pled guilty to this. You pled guilty to 2 assaults. You are guilty. You are convicted. You are going to lose this civil trial. He said, so I can take you for a $10,000 ride. We can fight this till the end, and you still pled guilty to the crime they're suing you for. You are going to lose. He's like, so just don't go. I got the judgment against me. I think it ended up being $175,000, which I never paid at all. And it showed up on my credit report and things. Like I couldn't do a lot of things for a while, but I bought a brand new car in 2009. A brand new Challenger, and when it came up for the loan, they just like laughed about it. They're like, yeah, we see that on there, that's all right. And I was like, okay, well, so that's gone now. And the guy died too, not because of me, but just because so he died, and I had to pay that, so I got lucky in that sense. But the police aren't your friends unless you have a friend that happens to be a police officer. Aside from that, if you guys are strangers, man, that's exactly what they are. They're strangers. They're trying to get you booked. They will lie to you. They will. And what the fuck is that? Set up office, bitch. Get the fuck out of here with this shit. Chiming in my ear. I don't know if you guys could hear that. It's just chiming and doing all kinds of fucking things. All right. Stick to your guns. Don't ever incriminate yourself. You always want your lawyer, no matter what, especially if you are guilty. Always get the lawyer. Always be respectful. be quiet. You know, a lot of people like to be aggressive, and just just do whatever they say. You know, on a traffic stop, I put my license and my shit in my hand, and I put my hands on the steering wheel. I turn the interior light on. I don't want any fucking problems. I don't want nothing. And one time I was pulled over, and I had my license and I think my registration card between my thumbs on the steering wheel. And the guy said, "Oh, you've done this before, huh?" And I said, "Yeah." And you know, I've been told by people that it makes police relax a little bit when they know what's going on, and you got a better chance at getting off of whatever it is, even the slightest traffic infraction. Just do what you're supposed to do. Don't argue, don't fight, don't do all that, man. I'm telling you, you're just making it worse for yourself, because they are the biggest gang, club, crew in the world, and they will chase you. They got nothing. We had a customer at my job who said his favorite part of the night in the city cop, he said, is when people run, because he was some sort of military whatever, and that's what he liked to do. He said he loved it when people ran. So we got a dude, a young dude, fit dude, and he's ready to chase. You know, I'm not saying don't run. I've ran in the past, but don't just think like, oh, I'm gonna be an asshole and this is all gonna be whatever. Nah, just be respectful and get it over with. You want this encounter to be as short as possible, and know your rights. Don't say anything stupid. Don't dig your hole any deeper. And that's about all I got for now. So I'm gonna see how this goes, and let me know what you guys think. Stay tuned in. I don't even know like how long it takes for these to post on the different platforms, but I'm gonna keep an eye on that. So I don't know, like it should be on Spotify, Apple Music, iHeart Music, Amazon, whatever. But always the best place to check it out, no matter what. It's gonna be at devastatorbrand.com, and yeah, that's it. Cut, motherfucker.